There is something nobody's telling you about why some talented professional burnouts, why less skilled people moved ahead in their career. As an operations specialist with diverse experience in different organizations, I spent 3 years working myself into the ground before I figured out what was actually happening. In the next 6 minutes, I'm going to show you the framework that changed everything for me, the one mistake that is probably draining your energy right now, and why these three simple circles will give you more control over your career than any productive system you have ever tried. You are about to discover the one circle where most professionals waste their best energy without even realizing it. The counterintuitive reason your influence actually shrinks when you try to control too much, and the Sunday sorting system with the template that freed up about 15 hours in my week while doubling the results I can actually measure. 2 years into my career, I watched a colleague of mine I did started with get promoted. Same skill level, same hours, same project. The difference wasn't talent. She treated every problem like it was hard to solve, fought every battle, and stayed in every meeting. I did the same thing. Honestly, I thought that was what commitment looked like. Then I sat in this leadership workshop where someone introduced Stephen Covey's CIA model, just three circles on a whiteboard. Within 2 months of applying this model, my stress dropped significantly and my actual influence expanded because I finally understood which problem were mine to solve and which one were just draining me. So, if you are coming across my channel for the first time and you appreciate a content like this, kindly subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. So let's dive into these circles one after the other. The first circle is the circle of control, your real power zone. This is the internalmost zone. It is the only place where you have complete authority over the outcome. I'm talking about your mindset, your daily habits, the skills you choose to develop, how you communicate, how you respond when things go sideways. Stephen Covey had this term for it, response ability. Your ability to choose your response no matter what is happening around you. Here is what shifted for me personally. I couldn't control whether my manager would approve this project proposal I have worked on for weeks, but I could absolutely control the quality of my research, how clearly I present it, and whether I followed up strategically. I stopped obsessing over what she might decide and just focused on making my deliveries as strong as possible. She'd approve it, yeah, but honestly, the biggest win was realizing my confidence didn't have to depend on the outcome I couldn't control. Think about your morning for a second. Do you control when you wake up? What do you eat? Whether you go to the gym to work out or not? Do you look at your actual priorities before you open your emails? These sound small, but they are pure control territory. They compound every single day. I worked with this senior director once who told me his promotion came down to one habit, the first hour of every workday. He only did the work that only he can do before anyone else's agenda touched his calendar. That is what circle of control thinking looks like in practice. The trap here is trying to control things that actually belongs in the other circles. You don't control your boss mood. You don't control your client's budget cuts. You don't control whether your colleague delivers quality works. Trying to control those things just drains you and actually strings your real influence. This is where you put most of your energy because this is where actual change starts and where your confidence gets built. The second circle is the circle of influence. This is your strategic impact without authority. This is the circle that separates people who kept advancing from people who stayed frustrated in the company I have worked with. The circle of influence sits right outside what you control. You can't dictate outcome here, but you can absolutely shape them through how you showed up, the relationship you build, the consistency of your behavior. This middle circle includes things like your relationship with colleagues, how your team functions together, what people think of your work, how clients perceive you, and the commitment people make when they are around you. You don't control any of these directly, but your influence is real if you know how to use it. Here's the pattern I kept seeing with people who actually advance. They focus on influence, not control. They ask better questions instead of issuing order. They model the behavior they want instead of mandating it. They build trust gradually instead of expecting instant compliance. The key thing here is this: your influence expands when you focus on what you actually affect and let go of what you can't. Every time you try to force something in this circle, you actually make your influence smaller because people resist being controlled. But when you guide, when you suggest, when you model and support, your influence compound over time. One more thing that trips us a lot of middle-level professionals is your influence in this circle, completely depending on how much you can spend in your control circle. If you can manage your own deadline, if your emotions are all over the place, if your communication isn't clear, nobody is going to trust your influence on bigger issues. Control builds the credibility that actually unlock influence. The third circle here is the circle of concern, the energy drain you must escape. This circle almost ended my career before I understood what it was doing to me. The circle of concern is everything outside your influence. These are economic, organizational policies you are not part of, global events, what your competitors are doing, other people's opinion about you, and circumstances you can reach. These things matters. They affect your work, but you cannot change them. It doesn't matter how your energy pour into them. Here is what I see constantly, and I did this for years myself. You start your morning reading news about how AI is disrupting your industry and how millions are losing their jobs to AI automation. You spend your lunchtime complaining about leadership decisions you aren't even in the room for. You end your day worrying about a client's budget freeze that hasn't even been confirmed yet. All of that lives in the circle of concern, and it produces exactly zero results while draining the energy you actually need for the circle that matters. All you need to do is to delete them all. So this brings us to the framework I use every Sunday evening. This is that sorting system I mentioned at the beginning. I write down everything that is on my mind, everything I'm worried about or thinking about or trying to solve. Then I sort each of them into three columns: control, influence, or concern. Everything that lands in the concern column gets one of the three responses: acknowledge it, accept it, or let it go. I don't strategize about it. I don't put it in my calendar. I don't let it take space in my head during productive hour. The goal isn't to stop caring about these things. The goal is to stop spending energy where energy can produce any change. Acknowledge the economy, accept the weather, let go of other people's decisions. Then take that energy and put it into your control and influence zones where it actually compounds into progress. Here is something most people miss about this framework. What is a concern for you might be influence or even control for someone else. A company-wide policy change is in your circle of concern if you are an individual contributor, but it might be in your manager's circle of influence and probably in some executive circle of control. That is why these work at every level. The circle aren't universal categorized. They are relative to your position, your role, and what you actually have capacity to affect. The question isn't what circle something belongs to in general. It is what circle it belongs to for you right now in your current situation. So the last part is your practical application, your weekly sorting system, because knowing is something and applying is another. So how do you actually use this without it becoming another complicated system you abandon after 2 weeks? Here's the 3-step process I've used for the past 2 years, and I made a template available for you for free. The link is in the description below. So the first step here is what I call weekly audit. Every Sunday evening, I spend 15 minutes writing down everything that will be competing for my attention during the week, such as client deadlines, skill gap I'm aware of, team conflicts, industry change, personal goals, budget worry, everything. This isn't a to-do list. It is more like a mental inventory. Step 2 is the circle sort. I take that list and I sort every single item into control, influence, or concern. If I can directly change it through my own action, it goes into control. If I can shape it through relationship, communication, or consistent behavior over time, that is influence. If I can only observe or react to it, that is a concern. This sorting takes 10 minutes, but it creates immediate clarity about where my energy should actually be going and a better way to kickstart a new week. Step 3 is time allocation. I schedule my week based on that sort. I block at least 60% of my time for control activity, the high impact work that only I can do. About 30% goes to influence activities like building relationship, strategic communication, and collaborative problem solving. I keep it to no more than 10% for concern awareness, just enough to stay informed without getting consumed. Anything that doesn't fit this allocation gets moved, delegated, or just deleted. Remember to use the template in the description and let me know what you discover that surprised you the most in the comment section. Now, there is a framework that might actually be the most important piece for you depending on your situation. Understanding the 3 circles solves the what and where of focus. But there are these whole different challenges around how you outline when to tackle what's work done and determine how to safeguard your focus, especially if you're in a workplace that punishes boundaries. I put together a follow-up videos that breaks down strategies I have used to protect my control circle and defend my time against all forces constantly trying to pull me back into the concerned circle. You can watch it by clicking the link above right now. See you there and be sure to like and subscribe.